Today, and it's at 10 or 10:30. I forget which. I've never seen that before yet. Now both sports have done it on consecutive days.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind a 6-game slate that locks at 10, but 3 gamers are just, and then that Kelvin Johnson stuff.
Oh, yeah, of course, that wild news at the last minute. That was just a mess. Just a mess. So even on a slow day, something happens. It's the NBA. This is the one. All right, Stokastic, here we are. It's your old pal EMac coming to you on a Friday with my buddy Gundacker. A little bit of no house advantage, NHA. We're going to tell you how you can get some overlay advantage over there. It's been a lot of fun playing there. They have 2 different formats. We're going to talk about both of them. Gun, it's been a full week here. I was doing a little traveling down to the old North Carolina Outer Banks last week. How have you been?
Here, same old. I'm still sore, but other than that, just sleepy and cold, but happy because I like the cold.
Yeah, it's definitely cold these days. It's been below freezing both mornings here in Virginia. The dog, she seems to like to walk fast going out, and then coming back, she's cold. So she continues to walk fast, which is much nicer than her in the summer, where I must sniff every tree and every blade of grass up and down both sides of the street. So a little less arguments and yelling on my part when it's cold out. So good times there. But we're going to get into a fun slate here. We have 22 teams in action. This is an 11-game slate. We have action spaced throughout the night. Key thing you do want to remember about no house advantage is that their tournaments, when they lock, there's no late swaps on your picks. So if you're playing somebody who is questionable, or if somebody gets ruled out at the last minute, you won't get points for that particular wager. What do you mean wager? Where sports betting's not allowed? Why, yes, it is when it's wrapped in a fantasy format. So we have we'll talk about the tournaments here. They also have head-to-head against the house. It's similar to player prop cards, but their tournaments are also based on player props. They put out about 200 or so for us to choose from. We'll look at the NBA slate today. We will rank 10 of these questions. You can use each player once. You put a confidence points on them, 10 through 1. And if you get the question right, over or under, whatever the prop you choose, then you get those points. Those points give you your score that you do battle with the other gamers in there. Tonight, they have a $15,000 tournament, $5,000 up at the top. That will probably get about 65% full. So you're definitely going to, at a very minimum, get reduced rake, if not actual overlay in this one. So you'll want to check that out. Gun, we've got a couple moving parts here. Bam Adebayo got the in-day downgrade. He's dealing with the sore knee. We already know Jimmy Butler's out. Tyler Hero's probably, or he is out as well. He's going to miss his 6th or 7th straight game. Duncan Robinson also ruled out with the hand injury. That was new since I last looked at this. It does look like Caleb Martin is going to be in. Dwayne Dedmon, questionable. We don't want to play anybody who's out or questionable. You play anybody who's out, think you're going to get the unders? No, you're not. You're going to get 0 points for that. You got to have somebody step on the court, step into the batter's box, step on the field, etc. The other moving parts here, Dennis Smith Jr. is doubtful. I don't think he's going to play. So we'll try to look here at some scary Terry Rozier numbers. And then I think that's it for the moving parts. Denver, a bunch of people in the health and safety protocol. We'll take a peek at some of those. But we do have free projections here. I'm going to drop that link into the YouTube chat for you, and you guys can take a peek and follow along with us. We do the heavy lifting here for you. That's what No House Advantage has asked us to do. So give them some pre-projections here. Get them on over to the site. Check it out. Come in through the link below us here in the YouTube description. You'll also get a $50 deposit match with your first deposit. You put in 20, they give you 20. You put in 50, they give you 50. You put in 100, they give you 50 because it's a $50 deposit match. Gun. Let's look at some unders here. An aggressive under. Joel Embiid, 13.5 rebounds. This Joel Embiid's amazing. 13.5 rebounds. Stokastic says, yeah, we think it's only going to be about 10.3 tonight. I believe Tobias Harris, questionable. What do you want to do with Mr. Embiid since he's at the tippy top here of our unders?
Yeah, I mean, 13.5 is only something that he's surpassed once in his last 10. I was at Boston in 37 minutes. Milwaukee, good interior defense, and we are looking at it's a 1 point spread. Actually, Philly's favorite here. So I would probably take the under just because I trust the projection there, and that's something that hits more often than not. Doesn't feel as warm and fuzzy as maybe the 92% makes me think, right? But I'm inclined to lean with the under as well.
And that kind of makes sense. So we'll go look at this. So this season, Joel Embiid is playing 35 minutes per game. He is played in 10 games. Last year, he was playing at 33.8 minutes per game across 68 games. If we go look at his per 36, so we know he's going to play around that. So his per 36 is a reasonable proxy for his likely upside. This year, 10.3 rebounds per game. Last year, it was 12.2. Year prior to that, 12.2. The 2 years prior to that, 14 and 14.5. He's getting a little older, a little slower, doing a lot more scoring. The rebounds tick down just a little bit. So I think I'm okay with the under on this one as well. Probably, I don't know if this is going to make the number one slot, but it probably should be a top 3 selection here. It feels hard going against Joel Embiid. Come on, who are we kidding here? What else is standing out for you? You know I like to go below DeAndre Ayton on his rebounds. How are you feeling about that one?
Yeah, 12.5 down to, we have a projection of less than 10. So nice little 89% probability of hitting the under. I don't mind that.
All right. When we look at DeAndre Ayton, he oftentimes doesn't get the minutes that we totally expect, especially in games that are not particularly close. It also is, while he is a decent rebounder, he doesn't have the monster upsides. This year he's playing a career low 27.7 minutes per game. Also a career low 7.7 total rebounds per game. Even if we goose that to 36 minutes, which would be an additional 10 minutes over what he's playing, he's still only averaging 10 rebounds per 36 minutes. This feels a little better to me in going for the under than the Embiid one does. He's going against Utah tonight in Utah. So little tick down. It's going to be at altitude here, but Utah shoots a lot, plays a little faster. There could be some errant rebounds for him, but I think this would be my number one. My 10 spot would be the under on this one. Let's look at the next one. We've got a couple other Utah players here. Colin Sexton, kind of all over the place, but we see both his rebounds, his assists, and his points, rebounds, and assists all kind of creeping into the top 10 there for us. We only get to pick one player prop per lineup entry to these contests. Would you want to use one on a Colin Sexton prop, and which one?
I'd probably throw a blanket on the PRA just to have the higher number possible. I think as long as Mike Conley and Jordan Clarkson, all that guard rotations available, I'm willing to keep expecting Colin Sexton to be involved, but not a ton of minutes, 17, 25, 22 minutes. Not a guy that's come out here and shown us a 35-minute upside as he's been kind of recovering for them. So I think there's a lot of mouths to feed. So I'd probably throw a blanket over the big PRA number and just lean the under.
All right. And just so you guys know, we don't go 100% by the numbers here. We got to look for a little bit of context. So here's one I feel a little queasy about. Luka Doncic assists 9.5, we have for 7.2. We say there's an 80% chance on the under. However, there are paths in tonight's game that Luka could get double digits, which is what he's going to need for this one. He took 2 nights ago, he was off. So he's had a little time for rest because he was coming off a 39 and a 40-minute performance. So they gave him the night off, and then his teammates sort of dropped the ball against the Mavericks at home, lost to the Rockets. Tonight they're going to be playing Denver. There's no Nikola Jokic. He's in the health and safety protocol, as is Jamal Williams. Aaron Gordon, I believe, is still questionable. So this is a team that not much defensive presence at this point. Probably will play a little bit faster, perhaps dragging the Dallas Mavericks into more of an up-tempo game. I can see a way where Doncic gets to 10 assists. This one makes me feel just a little bit nervous when I start to look at all of that. Now, again, we're looking at median projections. That means anything can happen. Could he get 1 assist? Yes. Could he get 17 assists? Probably not. But yes, that's in play. We're kind of looking at a middling number here. So to get to 10, that feels like about a 3. I'd take the under on from a confidence perspective. How do you feel about that? I know you like to dive into numbers and rates.
No, yeah, Luka and B, all the superstars. It's not fun to sweat unders, especially a guy like Luka that's a triple double threat. There's a lot going for him for the under if we wanted to take that, just because, like you mentioned, this is a skeleton crew for the Nuggets. They're 9-point road dogs here. What would help me feel a little bit better is in times where Luka has seen opportunities, he has just been a scoring machine. Averaging 34 points per game this season. So maybe he would, if he takes over a little bit more. But at the same time, a guy like Luka might find an opportunity to get his teammates involved. But his teammates, other than Spencer Dinwiddie, really haven't shown a ton of upside. The Christian Wood game came in the absence of Doncic, and so did the Tim Hardaway game, and also came against Houston. So I would be inclined to lean the under and agree with the projections, but I'm with you. The 3, the 2 to 1, this would be at the bottom of the card. And it's one of those, I wouldn't be shocked at the end of the night if he cleared it. More than likely a Luka under wouldn't make my, first 10 pick card. But I do understand the projection.
Absolutely. And that's why we just like to help talk everybody through how these different things work out here. Of course, we're going to trust the Stokastic projections. Alex Baker, one of the main contributors on that. Sean's on, master of the mega parlays. He has a lot of input. And so does Steve DeColt's Buzzard, who has, I think, 7 different $50,000 or higher wins. That does include 4 different $100,000 NBA wins so far this season. I'm going to trust their projections. We're just giving you a little understanding of probabilities, etc. In how these works. You know what you guys can do for us, though? Hit that like button. Almost 50 of you watching today. We like to see that. Let's get a few likes. Hit that subscribe as well. We just crested over 83,000 subscribers. You can check us out not only on the Stokastic main YouTube channel, but we have 3 other channels. My favorites, of course, are the Odd Shopper videos over there on our sister site, Odd Shopper. And then you can also check out Nick Lepre and Matt Saboka doing a lot of content on the Odd Shopper, or probably the Stokastic NBA YouTube channel over there, as well as several other contributors. So we have so much content that we're putting out. We got all sorts of channels that you guys can follow. It's all for free. I see we have some Dr. DFS in the chat, and Pat Mark is there, Dennis Forgy. We got a lot of the regulars here. Thank you, everybody, for popping in. Oh, and the porn bots. Now we know we've made it. When we have the porn bots, we'll just put them in a time. But we should actually, they didn't come through. They didn't pop up in time. I should have just let them so everybody could see that we got a porn bot, just so we could claim that we made it. Gun. We could claim that we made it. Anything else you liking here on the unders? Anything standing out? We can go look at some of our overs if
not. There's still a lot of news that's developing. This Heat team could be another skeleton crew. So nothing standing out to me at the top here. So yeah, I guess if you want, maybe the Dylan Brooks, if the right pieces fall for them, especially with Jaren Jackson potentially being back again, maybe that under 30.5 is something I can get behind. But no hard conviction there.
All right, that would be the 30.5 on the old PRA. Let's flip the script here. We're going to sort this by the over odds so we can see up the top. Ooh, I got the one I like. Russell Westbrook assists. 4.5 is the line. 6.6 is the over under on the Stokastic projection. Cade Cunningham still out. New wrinkle. Dennis Schroeder going to be available for the first time this season. LeBron James questionable. Juan Toscano Anderson out. Anthony Davis, who knows? He should play. But Westbrook there coming off the bench, second unit. We just need 5 dimes from him. I don't mind that one bit, even if he ends up playing alongside Dennis Schroeder. What are you thinking there about Westy? Because I even like, especially if LeBron's out tonight, this is going to be our late game, but I do like Westbrook off the bench there. He looked really good on Yahoo. He's sitting in my utility spot of my shell lineup Yahoo right now.
Yeah, Westbrook's a guy that's probably going to be near 30% assist rate. Makes a lot of sense. Point guards against the Detroit Pistons is becoming one of my go-to spots all year, post and pre Cade Cunningham injury. So big opportunity here. I think this line is way too low, and this is a line he literally might clear by halftime. If he gets to 10, 11 assists tonight, I'm not surprised, but we'll just take 5 and go to the bank. So I'm with you. This is probably one of the most appealing overs on the board.
This one might be is worthy probably of the 10 spot, maybe the 9. The only wrinkle is if LeBron and Dennis Schroeder are both in there. We're probably not going to know for sure what's up with LeBron when this does lock. And remember, the no house advantage picks do lock at lock across the board. Michael Porter Jr. just needs to get 2 3-pointers for us tonight to make us happy. We're projecting him for 3. A lot of people missing from his team. Do you think that's a possibility for him to get the 2 3-pointers he needs?
Yeah, no Jamal Murray, no Nikola Jokic. You would expect Michael Porter to probably lead the starters in shot volume. And remember, we might not have Aaron Gordon. So you could see names like DeAndre Jordan floating around. So there's a good chance Porter could be the 20 shot attempt guy. And on the season, about half, if not over half of his shots every game have been from behind the arc. So not a fun matchup, not a fun pace, but this is a low enough number that he's likely going to chuck 6 or 7. Remember, they're 9-point dogs right now. So game script could really force some 3-pointers before long. So we have him close to 3, over double the projection. I think it makes a lot of sense. So even if this is one of those spots that you can, on NHA, you can get into Michael Porter Jr. over and not worry about the blowout. And in a way, the blowout kind of helps us attack this line because the sense of urgency for them to chuck it is there. So I think it's a good spot to take over.
Yeah, this season he's averaging 3.4 makes per game, 7.3 attempts per game. That 46% conversion rate, career high, but he's still about a 30% on his career. So Michael Porter Jr. definitely someone that should be on our short list. That is worthy of the 10 spot for me. The over that would be. Let's see what else we have here. I think that's a little aggressive there with Klay Thompson for 3.8. Read a couple articles this week. Is Klay on the decline? Is this his demise? What are your thoughts here on Washington State Cougar Klay Thompson?
I feel like there's been a couple of spurts in the Warriors' history where they go in these weird stretches and everyone rules them out. And then Christmas, like they turn on the switch, and next thing you know, they're the monsters.
The Undertaker with the Santa hat.
Yeah, they just up at Christmas. They just sit up like, oh, we're the Warriors. That's right. But I mean, it does feel like this year more than ever with the Draymond Jordan Poole situation, with what we're seeing, it does feel like they're either on the decline or need another splash in that rotation. I'm thinking it's going to be let Draymond walk and replace him with somebody that's like Draymond but with some offense, and then maybe they'll be all right again.
All right. What do you maybe a Clint Capella? No, they're not going to let him go. I saw they're looking at trading John Collins, or they're just because they're a little crowded there. They got DeJounte Murray, another offensive option here, and his kind of sort of lack of defense. I think it was right for them to sign into a contract. I think he's a good asset. He sticks around with them. Nothing wrong there, but they do need to clear some playing time. Is DeAndre Hunter ever going to be healthy for a full season? We shall see. But Kungwu has actually been kind of a nice addition to their squad. All right, back to tonight's action here as we continue down. How you feeling about CJ McCollum? Feels like I have not talked much about the Pelicans, particularly on this show, but he has 4.5 assist line. We've got him for 5.84. Let's go look at the injury report because we always want to know who's in or out for New Orleans. Looks like Zion questionable. He did miss the last game. That seems to be the only person. Marcus Smart out for at least one, maybe two more games there for Boston. That does take their best defender off the court. They should have Malcolm Brogdon back. He was out for a couple games. Of course, Brogdon, not the most staunch of defenders there. How you feeling a little bit about CJ McCollum?
McCollum leads the Pelicans in assist percentage, 26% this season. So, as long as the line is low enough, 4.5, I think that is low enough. I think we can get there. It might be a tight squeeze. We do have it clearing by almost one assist, but I do think it's low enough to take a shot at. And if Zion plays, if Brandon Ingram, if they're both in, it's just more of a plus for McCollum here. So I'd lean the under as well. I mean, over. Excuse me.
The over. Yeah, averaging 6.5 on the season. That's his personal best. Thus far, of course, no longer playing next to Damian Lillard helps that out. He is also averaging pretty close to 35 minutes a game, so that is his per 36 number. Similar, the 6.6 was similar to what it was last year with New Orleans. So should be there, should get there. May have to sweat that one out to the last rotation of the fourth quarter, but feels like he could get there for us. What else are you seeing here? And then we'll go talk about some versus the house contests here.
I guess if you wanted to double down on the Michael Porter Jr. usage and maybe the 3-pointers was uncomfortable, you could take a shot at his 12.5 real points. Makes sense. Dinwiddie's been chucking at a crazy level lately, almost an unsustainable success rate from behind the arc. Not almost, definitely an unsustainable success rate from behind the arc, but he's had games where he's chucking 8, 9, 12 3-point attempts. He's been making like 50-60%. So I think his shot is wet, as the kids would say. So I wouldn't hate taking a shot at him, and that's something that might negatively correlate with our Luka assist hunch, but I like the Spencer Dinwiddie threes. We have Curry for over 5.5 rebounds. He's a sneaky rebounder at times. And then Tyrese Halliburton, one of my favorite players in the league right now. I always get action with his assists. Usually at sportsbooks now, you find it at 9.5, some places 10. We get another shot at 8.5, and he has one of the highest potential assist rates in all of basketball game to game. We have projected for over 10.3 assists, so I would like to over on that 8.5 as well. So plenty up at the top to like.
All right. Again, we are brought to you by No House Advantage. That's why we're talking about No House Advantage. You got the Pick'em contest. That's what we were just covering here. Get a shot at winning up to $50K in some of their contests on NFL Sunday. Tonight, $5,000 is the top prize. We've got a nice little $15,000 contest overall. There should be some relatively sizable overlay in that one as everybody gets distracted with other things going on Fridays here. You can play online or you can play on the app. All you got to do is choose a contest, select player props, and climb the leaderboard when you get the picks right. You can also look at some against the house picks. So we're going to do that next. So the key thing to remember about these player props we've been talking about for their tournaments, those are static. Once they release them, they don't change them for news, right? Those are like the salaries that we get on the other DFS site, right? They don't change the salaries once they've been released. Think of these as salaries. Now we're going to talk about the versus the house. So this is the wrinkle where if you got to really scratch that sports wagering itch, this is the format for you, friends. We can get over here. It's under the versus the house tab, and we can choose tonight. We've got some NHL props up there. They usually do. Occasionally we'll get some points on there. Usually it's shots on goal. You can also, if you want to cross correlate this, you can go over to Odd Shopper and check out what we have our projections that you can see on Odd Shopper next to these similar player props. Key thing to remember, that's coming out of our DFS projections. All you got to do to sign up at Odd Shopper, give them your email. You get about one email a week, and usually it's alerting you of new things. My email, let's see, I actually got a text this week. It says, Are you ready for the World Cup? Get access. Oh my God, we have World Cup coming up, Gun. That's going to be available on No House Advantage as well. So you can get all of the World Cup package for the entire tournament, just $24.95. Get it now to 60% off. That price is going to go up. This is something that happens only once per year. Sign up with promo code World Cup 2022 to get that. Was that bad of an email? I get one thing telling me how to save money each week by giving them my email to OddsShopper. No, it's not bad at all. But we've got the versus the house for NHL. We'll talk about some NBA here because that, of course, is the focus of this show. But you build out your cards. You do 2, 3, 4, or 5 questions. You choose the over and under. Again, these are dynamics. And then depending on how many you've chosen in your card, you get up to 20x if you go 5 for 5. So that's a fun way to play over here. You can sort by, if you click on the sort filter button, you can sort by position. That's not the most helpful. You can type in a player name and you can see all of the different props that they have, or you can look at it by game. They're working on putting out the functionality so you can look at it by assists or rebounds, etc. But if you kind of have an idea of what you're looking for, you can find it relatively easily here. I see Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal up at the top. B. Beal. I stuck on Brandon there. 22.5 points going against a very weak Miami team. This was the same Beal-led Wizards team that dropped a game at home on Wednesday to SGA and the Thunder. Inexcusable. That was so frustrating. The Thunder were like sitting SGA for most of the fourth quarter, and they're like, hell, we might as well just win this one. I think they're trying to debate now, are they tanking or not this year? So we'll have to see. They have so many picks. Does it really matter if they tank anymore? Let's see what they really got before they get Chet Holmgren and others. But how are you feeling about this Bradley Beal? He's not taking nearly as many shots as he has in prior years with his new teammates.
Yeah, and with Kuzma and Porzingis on the court, it's been a little bit more of a balanced approach. I was heavy on Beal hunches earlier this season on the DFS side when he was sitting at 8K. But I just kind of had to learn my lesson the hard way is the average Beal game is not going to be what our heart remembers because he has teammates now that are formidable. So, I'd probably be pessimistic about sweating his overs.
Yep. So we have him projected for. So I'm just going and looking at the OddsShopper projections here. We have him at 21.1 points. So that's probably about a 60% chance he falls under that 22. Let me go look and see what is Mr. Beal averaging at this point. Because like you, as being a Washington Wizards fan, I'm used to Beal getting close to 30 points a game. No, he's getting 21.9 per game this season. That's in 35 minutes. Last year it was 23 per minute. It was in 23 points per game in 36 minutes across 40 games. But that was, most of those were without Kristaps Porzingis. A lot of them were without Kyle Kuzma. So those guys are going to get their shots up here. And Beal's even said, and he's like, hey, look, I don't have to do anything. We need buckets late in the game. Then yeah, I'm going to call my own number. But otherwise, we got a lot of guys. Let's get everybody involved. It's better for the team if they don't know where our scoring is coming from. So I'm okay with the under on that one. We'll look at a couple more and we'll get on out of your chat. If you have anything you want us to look at in particular, we would be happy to do so as well. Sticking with this one, Kristaps Porzingis at 21. Now, Porzingis is someone I would kind of consider the over on. Now, we only have for 20.4, but Porzingis going against this front court without Bam Adebayo, we're looking at Nikola Jovic, am I saying that right? Not Nikola Jokic. If Dwayne Drawing Dedmon is out, we're down to the nobodies at this point in center. That is a good matchup for Kristaps Porzingis because we know the Wizards will feed him if that's where the easy buckets are going to come from because they really need a win tonight. So I'm okay going with the over on that one, even though it's relatively close there. How do you feel about that and any others standing out to you? Or I can throw out a few others if you like.
No, I'm in agreement. I think Porzingis is definitely in a spot to take advantage of a less than experienced front court And sometimes you get some extra free throw attempts from guys that are trying to play too much defense, and veterans can be a little bit savvy. Porzingis got a lot of his points from behind the arc, but last couple games 9, 6, 5, 8 free throw attempts here. So I think that's a low enough line. I think it would correlate well if you took a Beal under and then a Porzingis over. To sweat, I think it's a 215 total. It's a low total, low spread, low implied possession. So you're wanting Porzingis to get the most. I am fearing that 6-point spread could get a little bit higher than what it is with just Kyle Lowry and the Sunshine Gang, but maybe the pace.
You haven't watched many Wizards games. This is going to be close going into the fourth quarter. Trust me.
It probably.
Spoelstra could be putting the sneakers on, and it's still going to be close in the fourth quarter.
Need to go get Udonis Haslem back.
He's away from the team for personal reasons. This would be a perfect time for him to play too.
Right. But yeah, I think we can correlate that. Another one I might lean an over on if we want to sweat an over. Darius Garland assists. I know he hasn't cleared this assist line in a couple of games. I believe it's at 8.5 on their board. He is still a facilitator on the team this season. He has a 37% assist rate. I mean, that's elite tiers. That's Harden, DeJounte Murray, Tyrese Halliburton, Trae Young, guys like that. So he can definitely dish it out, needs his teammates to convert. And what I like about this is the Charlotte Hornets, especially their front court defense, this could be a good pick and roll spot for him to feed some of his bigs. So maybe I'd put that in there with the Porzingis and Beals as the over on Garland's 8.5 assists.
All right, I see. We're going to do two more here, and we're going to get out of here. I see Dr. DFS. We gotta answer your question for him. What do you feel about Denny Avdia rebounds without Bam? Let's see if he is on. So he is not on No House Advantage, but we can go right over here to Odd Shopper. I can just in the top of the search bar type in Denny Avdia. It's pronounced Avdia, but it's Avdia is how it is spelled. He has a 5.5 rebound rate. I'm going to filter on. So we show the sharp projection systems over here. That's taking an inferred rate of all sports books to see where the line ought to be. You can also change the filter to look at the Stokastic projections. We're projecting him for 6. So the over-under is 5.5. It's a 55% win rate, just a 7% ROI. The one nice thing about this, even though it's the lower win rate, it's only minus 105. So I think this is actually a reasonable. And Denny Avdia is someone I like him being on the Wizards. It's great. He doesn't do anything he shouldn't do. He tends to rebound. He doesn't take his shots, he doesn't look for his own shot. He'll take it if he's open, but otherwise he's going to pass it. But I like this look going against a decimated front court. Getting him to 6 rebounds, I think that can happen. I would be okay with the over on this one. If Adebayo's playing and if Dedmon's playing, then no, this is a different answer. But Avdia does just enough in there that I think that's okay to do. He's terrifying to take for fantasy purposes, especially now that he's in the mid 4,000s always, because you never know what's going to happen, Gun. If he gets 4 assists, 7 boards, and 11 points, you're like, yeah, that was a great night. But he could cut that in half on each of those and still play 30 minutes and come up with, it's like, how did he have 14 fantasy points? What the hell? I was watching the game. He was out there the whole time. It's the adventures of Denny Avdia. The last one I want to look at is Tyrese Maxey. 22.5 points. We know what Milwaukee does. They encourage opponents to shoot the 3. We know what Tyrese Maxey is happy to do. He likes to shoot the 3. How you feeling about that 22.5? I'm willing to push the over. I'm sure we could find out from Eton. Eton's gonna say, not only should you take the over, you should go there and find a ladder 3-point prop. You should take him at 2.5, 3.5, and 4.5, and just rake in that money. That's what Eton.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. The only thing that usually I like chasing guard points against the Bucks when they're dogs. Here we're looking at Philly as the favorites, and we got Drew Holiday questionable. So I guess it's still just a 1-point spread here. So I'd be on the over. I'm still just confused by what I'm looking at spread wise. If Drew Holiday's down, it's an even better spot for him to put up some points here. And the Bucks defense will probably be more focused on Embiid here. So maybe funnel more offense to Maxi's hands, but he's got to make them shots. Some nights he can go cold. Need him to stay hot tonight.
All right. Well, with that, we're going to roll on out of here. But remember, you can get all the sports you need here over at No House Advantage. They also are going to have some World Cup contests coming up, and especially in their versus the house game. You can get your full access to the full month-long package of the World Cup by using promo code World Cup 2022. You can get all World Cup action for just $25. It's like $1 a day. Definitely worth grabbing that. You sign up through No House Advantage. Below us here, go through the link. They'll do a deposit match up to $50. And in 40 minutes, technically, I guess 35 minutes, No House Advantage is coming back. They're bringing you the NBA Deeper Dive. That's going to be with Josh and Adam. And then you're going to get NBA Live Before Lock with an extra bonus 30 minutes, taking you up until 7:30. So we have almost 3 hours of NBA content coming up after us. Final thoughts here, Gun? Tell the people where they can find you.
Twitter, YouTube /Gundacker. And yeah, big slates are great for NHA nights. Lots of news to take advantage of. So if the DFS side is overwhelming, and it is, and you want to be able to chill after lock, you should be on No House Advantage. There's just way too much opportunity and too much money you're missing out on. So use that link below. Get that first match deposit up to $50.
All right. With that, you can follow me at EMac DFS. Of course, it is Stokastic_COM. Thank you to producer Mike. Stay warm in that heavy snow in Buffalo. With that, gamers, good luck. Hit the like button.